Hey, in today's video, I want to talk about how we're all connected. I want to talk about it because a few things have happened to me that have shown me that this is actually true and how I dealt with it. And then I want to show you how you could use this to your advantage because you don't need technology to affect the world. You don't need technology to have a sense of what's going on. So I think we might be even more powerful than technology. We just haven't practiced it and we don't know enough about it. All right, so here we go. When I learned about this, I learned it because I was listening. I wanted to really understand the new physics and quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement. My son is a physicist, and I'm not 100% sure he's into this stuff, but I was. And um, anyway, so I wanted to know about it. And while I could never explain it to you, I did listen enough to it to know what it means. So the quantum entanglement that I want to talk about proves that we are all connected. And we're all connected instantaneously. They have done these studies where people are on, not people. Yeah, I think they did it with twins, but they also did it with cells, where when they stimulated one, the one that was miles away had an instantaneous reaction. It wasn't like they communicated to each other. No, it was instantaneous. And that's how connected we all are. We're not aware of it. We haven't learned about it. This is all kind of new to us, but it's totally worth, exploring and even maybe trying out. So, a while ago, actually a long while ago, I was told in the training I went to at the Brennan School that we are all connected. She just, she was also a scientist, and the woman, Barbara Brennan, and she was also psychic. So she could sense things and see things that other people couldn't. And she made the connection that we are all connected. And that when you think about that, if you're bad mouthing somebody with a friend, you're both like talking bad about somebody, on some level, that person hears you. And that was what she told us. Now, I don't have clairvoyance. Like, I can't see most of the time. I can't see, um, what's going on energetically. If I try, sometimes I can, but mine is just sort of a direct knowing, my ability. So when she said that, I had a sense that it was true, but I didn't know it for sure. And I just imagined, okay, what would it be like in the world if, that were true? If when someone was talking about you, you actually somehow sensed it or had an immediate response to it. And it was just a very interesting concept to me. So I I just sort of walked around trying not to gossip or talk about people or say anything about someone that I wouldn't say to their face. And I think it has done me a good service, but it's just a concept that I had to really, think about and contemplate and wonder what would that be like. And so I sort of incorporated that into, how I thought about the world. I had a very good friend at the time who absolutely loved to gossip. She loved to be mean behind people's backs. She loved to talk bad about people, talk about how they weren't wearing the right clothes or acting the right way, or I don't know. It was a lot. And when I learned this, we were both in the same school. And when I learned this, I stopped the gossiping. And she kept on. And I couldn't hang out with her anymore. We were actually roommates, and when I learned about it, I couldn't be in the same room. I had to be somewhere else. Not that she would want me to gossip about someone, but she would be with other people gossiping about them around me. And that was just hard to take because I kind of took on the idea that maybe it's true. So, anyway, that friendship ended. And then a few years later, I had had a falling out with her. And a few years later, I was arguing with her in my head for no reason. Like, we hadn't even seen each other in months. And I I could sense that I was arguing with her. And I'm like, why am I arguing with her? And it went on for a while. It went on for maybe a week or so. And it wasn't happening all the time. It was just enough that I'd be like, why am I arguing with her? I don't have anything to argue about. Like, we're done. And it occurred to me that she was gossiping about me. And I was arguing because even though I couldn't hear her, I just would start arguing with whatever she was saying in my head. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And so what I did was I sat down in meditation. I imagined that she was sitting in front of me, and I said, "Look, we're not really connected anymore. We've done all that. We don't have anything in common anymore. You have a wonderful life. Use your energy wisely and go do your life." And after I had that conversation with her in my meditation, I stopped arguing with her. So I thought that was interesting too. So she must have stopped, bad mouthing me. Anyway, so I thought that was fascinating. And that was before I knew anything about quantum physics and, quantum entanglement and all that. But how I understand it is that if we are really all connected and we really do connect with each other and can hear each other's thoughts, if you are having a very difficult relationship with like your boss or a friend of yours, you can think thoughts about them, have conversations with them in your mind. And you can see that conversation going really well and being able to explain yourself or have a good outcome or a better relationship based on those thoughts that you have in your head and those conversations you have with that person. So this is just something that I became aware of, I want to say 90s. Yeah, mid 90s. And once I became aware of it, I could use it then in my life to change things, to, help myself have better relationships with people, stop myself from arguing in my head with someone that's not even in the room. And I didn't actually hear her words. I was just arguing. I could sense that I was arguing with her in my head. So take all this information in. See if there's some way you could use it in your life. And if there is, let me know how it goes. Let me know in the comments. I would be fascinated to know. If you have any questions about this, I'm happy to answer them too in the comments. And if you're interested in working with me, there's a link in the description. Okay. Until the next video, have a great day.